Hello guys, and welcome back to another video lesson for our sentence structure series. I hope that by this time you will have gotten better in writing your sentences. For this video lesson and in the next one, we will talk about common mistakes English learners make when writing sentences. For this lesson, we will cover sentence fragments. And I know what you're thinking right now. What is a sentence fragment? Well, you will know when you see an example. The people celebrated, period, after they heard the news. So what can you say about these two sentences? They look okay, don't they? Actually, there's a problem. The first sentence is okay, but the second one isn't. Why? Remember our first lesson in clauses, specifically dependent and independent clauses? The first sentence is an independent clause. It's like an adult. It can stand on its own. But the second one is a dependent clause. It's like a baby who cannot stand on her own. Therefore, it needs to be attached to an independent clause for it to become a sentence. And to correct this, we just need to put them together, like this. The people celebrated after they heard the news. Okay, to understand sentence fragments even more, let's review what a sentence is. A sentence is a group of words, but not just a group of words. It should have three things: a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. All of these should be present. If you lack one, then you don't have a sentence. Fragment is the opposite of a sentence. A sentence fragment is a group of words that does not have all or any of the following: a subject, a verb, or a complete thought. Okay, let's go back to this example. The people celebrated after they heard the news. For the second part, we have a subject and a verb, right? But it doesn't have a complete thought. Like if you separate it and you tell a person, for example, after they heard the news, what do you think would that person's reaction be? That person might say, "What? After they heard the news, what? What happened?" So that's what a fragment is. Yeah, you can say that it is an incomplete sentence. Think of it this way: it's like a piece of a puzzle. By itself, you cannot appreciate it. But when you put it with other puzzle pieces in the right way, you get to appreciate it. So here's the lesson so far. Before you use a period, before you end that sentence, make sure that you have written a complete sentence. Okay, let's have some exercise right now. Here are 5 sentences. I want you to pause this video and get a piece of paper and label each of these sentences as fragment or sentence. Yeah, go ahead, pause it. I want you to practice. Okay, let's check your sentences. Again, what are the 3 things a complete sentence must have? That's right, subject, a verb, and a complete thought. Let's start with sentence 1. While he was sleeping. Does it have a subject? Yes, he. Does it have a verb? Yes, was sleeping. Does it have a complete thought? No, it doesn't make sense. It's not complete. While he was sleeping, what? What happened? Therefore, this is a fragment. So we need to connect it to an independent clause. For example, while he was sleeping, his friends came over. Now we have a complete sentence. Okay, let's go to sentence number 2. Before lunchtime, he works out in the gym. Subject, yes. He. How about verb? Works out. Does it have a complete thought? Yes, it does have a complete thought. Therefore, sentence 2 is a true sentence, a complete sentence. Sentence 3, because many things happen to him. Is there a subject? Yes, many things. How about a verb? Happened. And a complete thought? Nope. It's giving a reason for something, but we don't know what that something is. So, like in sentence 1, we need to connect it to an independent clause. Say, he was sad because many things happened to him. There you go, we now have a complete sentence. Sentence 4, if the professor allows you, does it have a subject? Yes, the professor. How about a verb? Yes, allows. And a complete thought? Nope. If the professor allows you, so what? So what's gonna happen? It doesn't make sense, right? This, therefore, is a fragment. So how can we fix this? We can connect it to an independent clause. Something like, you can enroll this subject if the professor allows you. Okay, last sentence. While cleaning, he found a coin. Does it have a subject? Yes, he. How about a verb? Found. And does it have a complete thought? Yes, it does. Therefore, this is a sentence. All of the fragments in this exercise are what we call clause fragments. Yes, they are clauses, but dependent clauses. Since they are clauses, they have a subject and a verb, and they usually start with a subordinating conjunction. So here's a word of caution. You have to be extra careful when you are using a subordinating conjunction. Make sure that it is connected to an independent clause. There is another kind of sentence fragment that I want us to look at. Here's an example of it. Jogging in the morning before sunrise. This is what we call a phrase fragment. It doesn't have a subject, a verb, nor a complete thought. Therefore, this is a fragment. You might say, isn't jogging a verb? No. It does look like a verb, but it's not because it doesn't have a be verb. Verbs in ing must have a be verb before them. Jogging is a gerund. And jogging in the morning before sunrise is a gerund phrase. So how can we make this a complete sentence? Remember that gerunds can be the subject or direct object of a sentence. So we can write it this way. Jogging in the morning before sunrise is good for your health. So now our phrase became the subject. Or we can also write it this way. I love jogging in the morning before sunrise. So our phrase, gerund phrase, became our direct object. Basically, a phrase is kind of the opposite of a clause. Not exactly, but kind of, because it doesn't have a subject and or a verb. It may have a subject, but not a verb, or it may have a verb, but not a subject. Or it may neither have a subject nor a verb. Look at these other examples of phrases. So we can have an infinitive phrase, a prepositional phrase, an adjective phrase, or an adverb phrase. Okay, let's have some exercise at this point. But this time, let's have a paragraph. In this paragraph are some fragments. More specifically, phrase fragments. I want you to find them. So pause this video right now and write them down. Okay, let's see if you got them correctly. Let's go sentence by sentence. Students all over the world are struggling with online classes. Does it have a subject? Yes, students. Does it have a verb? Yes, are struggling. Does it have a complete thought? Yes, it does. Therefore, this is a complete sentence. Next, they find it difficult to sit down for several hours every day. Subject? They. Verb? Find. Does it have a complete thought? Yes, it does. Next, and to listen to their teachers. Does it have a subject? No. Okay, we can stop asking the other questions. If there's no subject, then it's not a sentence. The only exception is when your sentence is a command or a request. Remember, we talked about it in the previous lesson. Like, clean your room. Since this is a command, the subject is you. Anyway, let's go back to our example. So it doesn't have a subject. But for the sake of practice, let's ask the other questions. Does it have a verb? No. To listen is not a verb. It's an infinitive. And infinitives are usually nouns. What do the students find difficult? To sit down and to listen to their teachers. How about a complete thought? No, it also doesn't have a complete thought, especially as you separate it from the previous sentence. If you tell someone, for example, and to listen to their teachers, the person you're talking to would say, "What are you talking about?" Or, "What are you trying to say?" Therefore, this is a fragment. But how do we fix this? Simple. Just connect it to the previous sentence. Okay, next. Even the parents are struggling. Does it have a subject? Yes, parents. How about a verb? Yes, are struggling. How about a complete thought? Yes, it does. But you might be thinking, if you isolate or separate this sentence, even the parents are struggling, it will sound like it's not complete because we don't have enough context. You may want to ask the question, what are they struggling about? Nevertheless, it has a complete thought in the sense that we can understand that the parents are struggling. Alright, let's move on. Especially in helping their kids with their assignments while also doing household chores. This is a long one. Does it have a subject? Look at it carefully before you answer. Especially in helping their kids with their assignments while also doing household chores. No, it doesn't have a subject. Because the subject is in the previous sentence. Again, we can stop at this point because that's enough reason to say that this is a fragment. But for the sake of practice, let's ask the other questions. Does it have a verb? Yes or no. In case you're thinking what I'm thinking, helping and doing are not verbs. They are gerunds. Because again, they don't have a be verb. Okay, finally, does it have a complete thought? try to separate it from the paragraph, especially in helping their kids with their assignments while also doing household chores. No, it doesn't. Therefore, this is a fragment. So what should we do with it? Here, combine it with the previous sentence by using a comma. So this phrase adds extra details to the sentence. Okay, second to the last sentence. Because of this, they are hoping for things to go back to normal. Is there a subject? Yes, they. How about a verb? Yes, are hoping. And a complete thought? A big yes. So this is a certified sentence. Okay, we're down to the last sentence. In the next school year. I think you already know the answer, but let's try. Is there a subject? Nope. Is there a verb? Nope. Is there a complete thought? Definitely no. Therefore, this is a fragment. So this specific phrase is what we call a prepositional phrase because it starts with a preposition in. And that ends our sentence structure lesson, sentence fragments. Now for your assignment, I have here a paragraph that contains some fragments. I want you to identify them, then fix them. This is an excerpt from George Mueller's autobiography. Okay, I will see you in the next video lesson. God bless you.